tell you, if you feel the need, if you see me out on the streets and feel the need that you need to cuss me out, just keep on walking. Now hold your temper back, because it ain't gonna change my mind on anything. The only thing it's gonna do is make both of us mad now. I am kind of tired of the constant fear that everybody wants to put out. I am tired of the preppers. I mean, they don't even talk about prepping. I haven't seen a prepping channel actually talk about, hey, you know, it might be a good idea to get a solar panel. I mean, you know, they want to sell you something, but they don't suggest easy methods on how to do things. You know, if you're worried about food shortages, I'm not saying there's going to be one, just saying if you're worried about it, you might want to get a chicken. They're not that hard to raise, or quail. Carolyn said quail. They're quiet. You don't get big eggs out of them or anything, but they're quiet. You raise them in a city. Ducks aren't too bad. You can raise those in the city, and most municipalities don't even care about ducks. You can put your chickens in the garage if you're that worried about it. But the constant fear's got to stop. Things are bad enough. I mean, we can see things are bad. There is absolutely no reason to continuously make things worse and scare people. And then they say that if you don't believe the conspiracy theories, then you're wearing rose-colored glasses. I am not wearing rose-colored glasses. I know exactly what's going on. As a matter of fact, I live off-grid. These people who are so scared have done nothing to prepare. Oh, I watch prepping channels, I'm ready. That is not going to get you anywhere. I don't want to sit around being scared all the time. I'm tired of it. I did it in my 20s and 30s, and I'm tired of it. Half the things I worried about, 90% of the things I was worried about didn't actually come true. I remember how terrible I was about the new healthcare program back in 2008, 2009. I was terrified of it. Turned out it didn't hurt me hardly at all. I ended up having to pay extra penalties 1 year. So, I mean, yeah, it was bad. And I knew it was bad, but all the fearing. I mean, I remember people saying, well, they're going to put out a chart that if you're over a certain age, you won't be able to get any health care. And if you're below a certain age, you'll get minimum health care. But the prime target, they're the only ones going to get health care. This was back in 2008, and I'm like, holy wow, this is incredible. And it didn't happen. Now, I can understand trying to get your political party in, so you say things that are a little bit weird, but there's no reason to scare people to death. And when people run out, when things actually happen, and buy toilet paper, I mean, what is the sense in this? It's like the last thing you need to worry about is toilet paper. But everybody ran out and got toilet paper, and there was no toilet paper on the shelves. Oh my gosh, the shelves are empty. It's because they're all over in John's house. This is what fear does to us. There was no toilet paper shortage, but fear drove it. Nobody could buy it. Why do you need toilet paper? There are easier ways to take care of things than buying up all the toilet paper, and then 2 years later you're like, oh, I got too much toilet paper. I'm going to sell it at a yard sale. Stop scaring people. It's ridiculous. There's no sense in it. I mean, if you need to actually clean yourself after the bathroom, get in the shower. Washcloth, some soap. If it's that important to you that you got to have 5,000 rolls of toilet paper, and then they had to mask up, and they were going to come around and start arresting us. That's what they said. And I even said in the video, they're not going to arrest us for not wearing a mask. That's going to go to the Supreme Court so fast, it'll rip your socks off. Well, heck, it didn't even make it to the Supreme Court. Walmart put a mandatory mask on their doors, and then like 2 days later, they gave up on that idea. It was a serious problem. I get it. But we didn't need to make it worse that they were going to come and haul us off in chains and put us in concentration camps. What? I mean, there's been certain instances in our history that I agree, yeah, that was pretty bad. Things can happen. And then we deal with those problems as they come along. If you're worried about food shortages, there's no reason to sit here and harp on it every day. Well, the shippers ain't coming in, and the trucks are on strike, and we're not going to get a UPS package for the next 10 years because of the union strike. I mean, I remember when they said we all had to get this thing. I want to mention that I am not in jail. I'm not in a concentration camp. They didn't come to my house. I mean, they didn't say anything to me. I mean, I recognize some people's jobs relied on getting that thing, and that was a terrible situation, but it was one that individuals had to deal with. But to tell me that I was going to go to jail if I didn't get that thing, again, that would have went to the Supreme Court so fast your socks would have fell off. But then they said that they were going to come door to door and make you take that thing. Well, I can't even imagine this. What are they going to do? Have the army go around and do it? Because it would be like them coming around to pick up your guns. If enough people, think about this, start getting their guns taken away, that's going to make the news, even the local news. And so now the army is coming around, you know, there are troops of 500, I don't even think it'd be that many, whatever they, you know, how can you even come up with a scenario? Are we really going to spend money on our army to come around and pick up weapons, which is unconstitutional? And once again, we go to the Supreme Court so fast that your socks would be ripped off. They're going to come around and they were going to give us these things in our arms. And I was actually legitimately concerned about this, but I just kept thinking that this can't be true. This can't happen. I just don't believe it. Look, it was bad enough that the people had to go to work and make a decision. Do I go to work or do I get the thing? And there are some people in the military who said, no, I went out. And so you still had a choice. May not be a great choice, but you had a choice. And eventually, if anybody ever gets sick from this thing that I had to get, the companies that required it are going to get sued. They're going to lose everything. So it was a risk on the company's part to even make you do it. But I never got it, and I'm not in jail. No one came to my door telling me, hold me down, trying to put it in my arm. I didn't have to shoot anyone. The army never saw hair of them. Of course, we got these planes that fly over all the time doing military drills. Maybe they're targeting me, huh? I'm sure somebody would say, oh yeah, they're after you. And then during and right after the event, the lockdowns, which wasn't really a lockdown, most of it I feel like was kind of like a voluntary lockdown. We moved here at that time, so that month, and we didn't go anywhere just because we was concerned about the virus. Not because anybody was telling us we had to stay home. It was a concerning time, but there was no reason to make it worse and say, well, all the shelves are going to be empty. Nobody's going to supply food to the grocery stores. Well, when we did go to the grocery store, you could see a marketable difference at the grocery store. You could. At the time, we weren't carnivores, and Carolyn liked to get the ramen noodles. She made mac and cheese from ramen noodles and cheese. She didn't buy the box. There was no ramen noodles. But again, these were the cheap items. The same things the prepper saying, you need to go out and get those staple items. Go out and get ramen noodles. They're cheap. So once again, all the conspiracy theorists went out and got ramen noodles. But as far as everything else, there was plenty of food. We were not in jeopardy of starving to death. Oh, it's gonna be chaos on the streets. And Carolyn was so wrapped up in this on one of the apps that she had, it was giving her anxiety again. I mean, she pretty much cured herself of anxiety, but she was getting anxiety from these apps. And finally she got off of it. Now I don't even know what the heck I was so afraid of. Nothing happened. Just like in 2008 when I was so freaked out about everything. I was freaked out. I mean, president that I voted for didn't get elected. I had a nightmare that night. Why? We got through it. That's the thing, is if you even go back to the 70s and watch it, Archie Bunker, he was screaming about the same stuff that we're screaming about now. And we're still here. We're still making it. I realize that things are bad. I realize things have changed. I realize times have changed. I realize there's issues. One of the things people talk about is plastic bottles and what it is doing to men of our society. I don't want to get into too much detail, but it's happened in the past. So we will get through it. It's not great and we need to fight, but to say that this is into society, it's not true, because The Roman Empire did the same thing. The men in society kind of stopped being men, just kind of like today. Well, the reason is because I think, it's just a theory, there was lead in the water. They lined everything with lead. They didn't know back then that lead was poisonous. And so it blocked synapses in your brain, just like this plastic bottle thing is doing. From the science that I'm reading, I mean, I'm not a scientist, I don't know anything. It's basically identical. So we'll get through it just like we did with the Roman Empire. Did Rome fail? Yep, it failed. Could the United States fail? Yeah, it could fail. Are we going to go through hard times? Maybe. But we'll get through it. There is no reason to be in constant fear and anxiety, stress. Stress can kill you, so don't stress. So currently there is 2 wars going on. Now 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, however long it's been, when the European War broke out, we all knew for a fact that the war was coming our way, that we would be involved in this war. We knew it. And I can tell you that nobody remembers how much fear was involved. And the reason I remember it is I started a second channel at that time. And I was reviewing some of my videos that I'd made. Same time that the war started. And I was making fun of these people who were telling us that the end of humanity is coming. We were going to get bombed and nuked and all this other stuff. I can visually remember what it was like. And everybody was terrified. People were talking about buying these pills so your thyroid doesn't die from radiation poisoning. I kept saying, just relax. You know, we are still a strong country. Really, we are. We can say that our president is a weakling and this is why everything's happening. Fine, we'll elect him out the next time he comes around, whatever. But in the end, we still can manage. We will do all right. We always do, because we are who we are. We've been this way for 200 years. No! Take off your rosy colored glasses. I don't have rosy colored glasses on. I recognize there's a war in Europe. Now, why make a bad situation even worse? The bad situation is the money that we have spent on that war. That is hurting us more than us going to war. Why not focus on the fight, the real fight, the fight we need to be fighting, which is stop spending money. Well, now we got another war, so who cares about that one? Let's start it all over. It's coming to our shores. I remember October 13th, watched a video and said, do not go out on the streets today. They will be out there on force. It's a day of rage. I can't use all the words that they used. I'll get demonetized. Day of rage. What's happening over there in Middle East is coming here. So I went to Walmart because I wanted to feel the day of rage. I wanted to see it firsthand, and I was going to take footage of it. I was going to make a YouTube video. Yeah, let's go. Come on, day of rage. If I survive this, I'm going to make millions of views. I went to Walmart, and some old lady got in front of me and wouldn't move out of my way in the aisle. Oh man, I was raged. Boy, I was furious. But she finally turned around and said, "Oh, excuse me, Sonny. Let me move out of your way." "Oh, no problem, man. Thanks." Same stuff as always. I mean, is that what we were talking about? The day of rage? Yes, I know. It's bad. But to tell everybody, well, it's time to pack your kids up and send them off to the army. Your grandkids, this war will never end. We're going to lose our shirts on this one. It's just fear-mongering. So when subscribers get mad at me and start screaming and hollering that I have rosy-colored glasses on, and I need to face reality, kind of a hypocritical thing to say, or at least ironic. I'm the only one out here facing reality. The reality is we're up on inflation a little bit. There are 2 wars going on that we're going to have to pay for. I don't want to pay for them. Call your congressman and say, hey, stop paying for them. We got a president that is showing his age. That's concerning. We don't need 2 wars going on and a president die. That would make it pretty bad. Our Congress is kind of in turmoil right now. We'll get through it. I think this is probably a good thing. Democracy at work. You know, they always talk about democracy, even though we live in a republic. This is democracy at work. When one person isn't working out, you vote him out and you vote someone else in that might work out better. This is good. I'm tired of the fear. We have enough on our plate. We don't need to add fake stuff. So stop being afraid. Take care of the issues that are at hand. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video where I can show you how to can food, chicken. So if I can inspire you to stop being afraid so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.